All right. Good day, my awesome viewers and subscribers from all over the world. This is yet another great episode on The Truth with Ben Jokes, your number one political talk show. IPOB warns Enugu Governor Mba over plot to allocate Eha Amufu community land for Fulani settlement. And it just baffles me to see that a man in this modern world, in this modern day, would want or be willing to sell his own people out because of personal gains. Even without giving Fulani's land, you have seen the havoc they are wreaking in the southeast. And in Benue State, we see what they are doing. The events in Benue alone is enough to prove to anyone that nothing good can come out of giving Fulani's land to settle. They have displaced almost a quarter of that state. They have the highest IDP camps right now in Nigeria, right there in Benue State. Because these people only have two goals when you give them land in your place. Their number one goal is to expel the locals and grab their lands, or to subdue the owners of the states and relegate them. They did it to Yorubas in Kwara State. They did it to Hausas in the entire Northwest and part of the Northeast. So why would a Southeast governor in his right senses even consider settling Fulanis permanently in any part of his state, no matter how remote? And I hope that prominent and influential figures of the Southeast will rise to the occasion and ensure that these present crop of governors don't sell out that region to Fulanis. Now, let's look at the top stories. The Southwest is on fire as we speak, as Yorubas hit at Aso Rock after an obnoxious claim from Tinubu's cabinet. This claim insults the sensibilities of the suffering masses of this country. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update on a protest from Ibadan began making the rounds. And the details of this protest proves firsthand that this government came to destroy this country. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video. This is a must-watch video, an interview of Dr. Usman Bugaji. See the video.
For me, this is not the first time I started talking about it. I talked about it from 2019 through to 2023. Before then, even from 2015, I have consistently said Buhari's presidency was a disaster. And there are so many other ways that, things that he did by putting too many northerners in the security sector for no benefit at all from the north. And I thought Buhari's experience is itself sufficient evidence that this idea of putting somebody from one part of the country to become president doesn't really work. It doesn't make sense. Because what do you want him to do? To favor his own part of the country and to abandon others? This is very naive, to say the least. So the point I'm making is that you can achieve inclusion and not at the expense of development. One way to do it, for example, there is no part of the country that has any monopoly of competence. There are competent Nigerians among the Southwest, among the Southeast, among the South-South, Northeast, Northwest, North Central. Why don't you pick those competent Nigerians from the different parts of the country to fix and run your country? Why do you go for people who are barely educated, people who are crooks, people who clearly have no idea of where to take this country, who cannot engage the world, who don't even understand? All they know is primitive consumption and primitive accumulation and very perverse tastes and consumptions, and just simply running the country down. So if this is why I said inclusion is a very, very critical aspect of governance. And you can achieve that and still achieve development by bringing more competent people. There are technocrats who can fix the energy sector, who can fix the transportation sector, who can improve all the infrastructure. The few that have come into government have been elbowed out. Some of them have been chased out of government because corruption will not accept the kind of thing that they want to do. And I feel very sad. I mean, we, and quite a number of Nigerians, and by the way, across the board, not just the North, the East, the West. We stood up to the military during the time of Abacha. We fought for democracy. But this is not the kind of democracy we want to see. We want a democracy that takes cognizance, of competence and recognizes knowledge in the 21st century as the greatest capital and try to mobilize. And Nigeria has a lot of these talents, has a lot of competent people. Why don't we bring them into governance? Why don't they lead the process? Why do we need some politicians who don't understand the world in the 21st century, who have no record of doing anything, competent anywhere, and all their life is life of sleaze and corruption, and because they have accumulated money through those corrupt practices, then they buy everybody off, and now we have a National Assembly that is just, literally for sale.
Wow, you heard that. And if you must know, Dr. Bugaji doesn't need a working Nigeria to live well. He's already living well. He was only speaking for the common man to wake up. We must stop making political choices based on tribe and religion if we want to get it right as a nation. We can't keep choosing the worst of us to govern, or we can't keep letting the worst of us rig their ways into power and then turn around to complain when things go bad. And Dr. Bugaji went on to talk about a 21st century leader who can deliver the kind of democratic leadership that our founding fathers wanted for Nigeria when they fought for democracy. And for me, that leader is Peter Obi. I won't shy away from saying it. In this present political class, Obi is the only one who ticks all the boxes for me. He has the knowledge, he has the integrity, and he has a record of good performance. So he's not just talk. Nigerians must do all it takes to kick out the APC. Point blank, period. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that terrible lie coming out of Aso Rock. And this lie got Nigerians, especially Yorubas, angry, and they hit back at Tinubu and his cabinet members. And next is that protest in Ibadan. Like I said, the details of this protest will show you that this government has no shame and that they have come to destroy Nigeria. Let's start by taking that update from Aso Rock, spreading a lie that angered Nigerians. Look at how the papers reported it. Nigerians enjoying positive impact of Tinubu's economic policies. Sunday Dare, a media aide in the administration of Bola Tinubu, Sunday Dare, said Nigerians are now enjoying the positive impacts of the government's economic policies. Tinubunomics continues to impact positively on both the economy and Nigerian citizens, Mr. Dare said in a tweet. He added, price inflation of most foodstuffs is being reversed. Price of major foodstuffs are dropping. Petrol prices are stabilizing. Posting a graphic design titled Tinubunomics, an unverified price of food list embossed with Mr. Tinubu's photo, Mr. Dare said, Kasuwan Dawa now in Kano, Northwest, is the biggest international grains market in West Africa. Millet, maize, rice, sorghum, and ginger, situated along 5 major Nigerian borders, is back and thriving again. Some Nigerians on social media, however, debunked Mr. Dare's claim, lamenting that things were worse under Mr. Tinubu. Less than 2 years into the Tinubu-led government, Naira trades for 1,520 Naira against the dollar, a decline from the 780 Naira to a dollar Mr. Tinubu inherited from his predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari. In May 2023, when Tinubu assumed office, the Naira traded for 780 Naira to a dollar. Since Mr. Tinubu assumed office, announcing fuel subsidy removal and exchange rate unification, the Naira has been on free fall, trading for about 1,800 Naira to a dollar at some point, while food prices rose. You heard that. Tinubu's media aide Sunday Dare claiming that prices of food items are crashing in Nigeria, and then he attached this fake chart to it. Look at it. First of all, everything on this chart is measuring Tinubu's government versus Tinubu government. Why not measure Tinubu government versus Buhari government? Even though the figures they are fake, you are still measuring Tinubu versus Tinubu. Take it back to the time of Buhari when a bag of rice was 32,000. You see, those who can recall will agree that I predicted this. I said the empty promises the Tinubu administration is making now, a time will come, they will start saying they have achieved them. Petrol will be selling at 1,100 naira per litre, and they will say petrol price has stabilized. A bag of rice will be selling at triple the amount that they met it, triple or even more, and they will say that inflation is reducing. I predicted it, and that is exactly what is happening now. But Nigerians, especially Yorubas, began cursing this administration and Sunday Dare, the media aide, as soon as this update dropped. Oladokun Charles Oluwafemi here says, na thunder go fire that Sunday were. Him and Tinubu dey mad with their useless nonsense evil economy. And Dr. Dave Obafemi here says, the thunder that will fire you is still loading. Just keep up the lies and confusion and confusing the gullible minds. But no matter how gullible you are, if you go to the market and buy something 50,000 naira and somebody tells you it is now 40,000 naira, won't you know? Shouldn't you be able to tell that the person is lying to you? And Ajayi Oluwaseun here says, kò ní ra gbá fún Sunday Dare àti àwọn cohort here. He says it shall not be well with Sunday Dare and his cohorts. And Akinfoshile Shola here says, are these people real humans or demons with the vast evidence of sufferings? This is a very good question. You know, you begin to wonder, are these people really human beings? Do you know the kind of suffering? Do you know how people are suffering in this country? We have more than 70% of the workforce of this country earning below 100,000 naira. And a bag of rice is selling for 100 and something thousand naira. How do you want Nigerians to cope? Nigerians can't even move from one spot to another. I'm saying people are earning 100,000 naira. I have not even calculated the transport money. If you remove transport money from that money, the take home for some people is not even up to 40,000 naira. People are sleeping in their offices, dying of suffering and hunger. And Sunday Dare is coming out to say that Tinubu's policies are now working for Nigerians. So it begs the question, are these people demons or real human beings? And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to this, that update on the protest from UCH Ibadan began making the rounds. Now, let's take the background story to these protests. There was a protest in UCH, University College Hospital in Ibadan, after Tinubu failed to fulfill his promise to the school. He said he was going to pay 50% of their electricity bills, and he was going to pay for other institutions too across the country, but he failed woefully. So the electricity company went to the school and disconnected the school when they couldn't pay all their light bill, disconnected the school, and they were in darkness for over 80 days. So they began a very heavy protest. And what happened? Tinubu's minister for power, Adelabu, went to the school, I think on the second or third day of the protest, and made them a promise that he was going to restore power to that school immediately, and the protest ended. But guess what? He also failed to fulfill his promise, and as such, the protesters had to reconvene. Look at how the papers reported it. University of Ibadan medical students again protest against 100-day power outage. False ministers failed promise. Sahara reporters. Students of the University of Ibadan, UI, College of Medicine, staged a protest at the University College Hospital in Ibadan, demanding an end to a power outage that has lasted for over 100 days. The demonstration comes just 2 days after the Minister of Power, Chief Bayo Adelabu, assured the public that electricity will be restored to the institution. However, students say the situation remains unchanged, severely impacting their studies, research, and healthcare services at the teaching hospital. Chanting slogans such as "We need power supply" and "100 days of darkness, enough is enough." The students marched to UCH with placards bearing messages like "Give us light or else" and "Save UCH." Some of the protesting students decried the hardship caused by the prolonged blackouts. We cannot continue like this. We are medical students and healthcare providers in training, yet we are forced to study under terrible conditions. Our hostels and laboratories are in darkness, and even the hospital is struggling, they said. However, despite repeated assurances from the Nigerian government officials, students say there has been no concrete action to resolve the crisis. They have vowed to continue protest until the electricity is restored. Wow, you heard that. TINUBU promised to pay 50% of electricity bills for educational institutions and hospitals across the country. He has failed to do that. Not even a penny has been given to any institution. And as such, UCH, University College Hospital Ibadan, has been disconnected for over 100 days now. It should be around 105 days today. And since day 80, they have been protesting. And then the minister turned up for one of the protests, Minister for Power Adelabu, and he gave them his word that under 24 hours, the electricity was going to be restored to UCH. And everybody thought, if minister says it, it means it will happen. No shaking. And they went back to their hostels, only for them to find out that the man was just lying to them as usual. Just like his boss, he was lying to them. What a shameless set of people. And as soon as the people discovered that he was just lying, they hit the streets again, and they have vowed to keep protesting until power is restored. Whatever be the case, allowing UCH to go 100 days without electricity, for me, clearly shows that this government, they have come to destroy this country. Even the state government, Seyi Makinde, governor of Oyo State, has really messed up on this matter. We are talking about one of the biggest hospitals in Nigeria. Just tell the power company, restore that power first before we even discuss anything. But they will never take such steps because it doesn't concern them. This is a typical example of how these people behave, as regards every sector in this country. It does not concern them. It is only when they turn up in front of the cameras that they act as if they are following what is happening in this country. No, they are not. These are people whose families are outside Nigeria. When they fall sick, when they cough the wrong way, or they develop small stomach upset, they are out of Nigeria. In fact, I heard that some politicians in this country, they do their laundry, they dry clean their clothes outside Nigeria. I heard from a reliable source. So these are people that despise this country. Our resources as a nation, they are in the hands of people that despise the country. That is why we have so much, but the people of this country cannot even feel it. Hospital going 50, 60, 70 days without electricity. It means they are saying, what they are literally saying is that all the people in the hospital can go and die. That's what they are saying. It doesn't concern them. But am I surprised? No, I'm not. Because this is the APC. This is what they have come to do. To steal, to kill, and to destroy. I'm only surprised that Nigerians have not risen up against them yet. That a few can be treating millions of people like this in a country that belongs to all of us, and they are getting away with it. And that is why we keep telling Nigerians here that no, we cannot let this happen. The reason it looks as if they are so powerful is because they, the political class, they are united in their evil against the people. If the people can learn from them and unite, keep their sentiments aside, put their foot down and say, no, enough is enough. We cannot continue to suffer in a country that has so much. When the people begin to say this, you will see that they can easily take their country back. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. We una go like. Why? Because now because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go.